Welcome back to the third episode of getting our truck ready for King of the Hammers. We have been absolutely cranking over the weekend. It is right now Monday, so you'll see a lot of what we did over the weekend and that we're continuing to do this week. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming up as far as we're getting the car finished. So the car needs to be done Thursday so we can get it loaded up, and we are headed out Friday morning. So we got to finish up our rock sliders, finish up the rear bumper, finish up our engine cage, put all our shocks back in from Icon. These are here. We're fixing some issues on our power steering, so that's going to get done. We have some safety equipment that's getting replaced, new window nets, new harnesses because those are expired. Hopefully we have some new tech as far as navigation goes coming in this week. We're excited to talk more about that. Hopefully it does show up. If not, we're going to be using our old equipment. So yeah, a lot going on this week, but we're going to get it done, and we're excited to go out to Hammers. So tag along for the rest of prep. All right, so today's big project is getting these Boatside rock sliders done. So we pretty much have most of the stuff we need cut out on the laser. Making this is these basically wedged plates that go to the frame, and these are like our outriggers and our main structure, and then they're gonna have these 3/16 rectangles that are gonna have weld nuts in them up on the bottom of these. And then this aluminum, and we're picking up 1/2" UHMW, is going to bolt to these outriggers. So these are going to be basically a consumable piece, but it's going to give us a completely slick rocker, and it's going to be easy to service, not like our old rock sliders, which were just pool noodles. They also got caught up on rocks all the time. Yeah, this is going to be super nice, and we're excited to make good progress on this. Our Boatside sliders are pretty much done as far as fabrication goes. We have to cut out our UHMW, and then these will go up on the truck. So there's a skeletonized structure. It's super cool looking, and hopefully it's as durable as we think it's going to be. It looks really stout now, but Ultra4 always finds a way to prove us wrong. So yeah, it's definitely better than our old setup though. Our new sliders are all finished up. Having a smooth undercarriage down here is going to be awesome, especially once paired with our new skid package. But yeah, 1/2" UHMW across the bottom. Everything's flush mounted, so there's nothing to catch down here. And then the main structure is the 3/16 thick box steel. So this is going to be super killer. Yeah, so stoked to have that finish, and we can keep cranking on some more stuff. That crossover tube is done, and this thing is beautiful fitment. I'm really stoked how this came out. It's kind of like a gullwing door. It swings out to the side and then whoop, drops right in. This is with one hand, mind you. With two, it's even easier. Look at that. Pretty unique way of doing it. It's got a polyurethane bushing on both sides, kind of like a trans crossmember would, but it kind of allows the tiniest bit of flex once this is all tight, and hopefully that continues to give us a little bit of alleviation from that cracking we were seeing with our old setup. So this is not only going to be really strong, but it'll kind of allow our two frame rails to kind of move a little bit as far as vibration and a little bit of bending goes. So we'll see. It looks cool. We got to get some longer power steering lines so that we can push this cooler back and get that mounted back onto our crossover tube like we had before. It sat all the way up here, so you can see it move backwards like, I don't know, a foot. Still have good access to this. And again, one of the really cool things about this new engine cage is we can actually service our coil packs and stuff. We used to have a tube right here, and this front coil pack on both sides could not be taken out unless the motor was picked up. So huge oversight when designing our old cage, and thankfully it never caused us an issue during a race. But out at King of the Hammers last year, as you saw in our video last year, we had to pick our motor up to troubleshoot a coil pack. So yeah.
So we have started doing our pit and camp setup layout. So there is kind of a whole second half that goes into King of the Hammers, which is the logistics side of things. There's a lot of parts we need, a lot of tires, fuel, propane, a lot of moving pieces that we're trying to figure it all out now. We typically wait until last minute and always miss something, so we're leaving in about a week and a half from today. So we're trying to lay everything out, figure out what trailer, what truck it's going in, and make sure that we have absolutely everything. Inevitably, we'll forget something, but we've got most of it, and we've just gotta keep cruising through car prep and get this all finally laid out here.
We got all of our new suspension components buttoned up on this side, all new hardware, the rebuilt Icon coilovers. We also did all new pivots on our Marlin crawler stuff. So this side's done, now we gotta go knock out the other side.
And I just want you to know that I'm gonna say so for you, for you. I wanna stay sober for you.
The front end of the car is all done, back on its own way. It feels really good to have that finished up. So now we can go work on the next project. So one of the things that we've been dealing with for a long time is, it hasn't really been a major issue. We only had one time where it actually caused us to slow down during a race, and that is our power steering reservoir splashing power steering basically. As it breathes, it was leaking power steering out. As it got hotter, it got worse. So most races we would finish and our front right corner would always be covered in power steering. Our alternator would get covered in power steering. So I'd been doing a lot of research, and one late night on Race Desert, I found a thread talking about this system, which is, we did it the cheap way. You can go all the way in using their reservoir and their cap, but this is a Radial Dynamics power steering cap that also fits on a PSC reservoir. So we upgraded to a PSC power steering reservoir, and then we put their cap on. This cap basically has a bunch of air channels for the air to move through, and it makes it hard for the fluid to follow the air. And then at the top of it, it also has a check valve. So if I unscrew this with the breather on it, I'll get close to the mic so you can hear it too. You can actually hear a rollover check valve in this cap. So it's not just an open hole at the top of the cap, kind of like the PSC reservoir has, similar to the power steering reservoir that we have in here now. So we're really excited to switch to this. If you take out these 4 screws, you'll see basically a little maze configuration. But it's cool. They have a video showing this thing upside down, and the only way they can get fluid out of it is if they shake it violently while upside down. So your car could be in any orientation, and power steering is staying in your reservoir, which is awesome. So no more splashing power steering, we hope. These guys are working on the rear axle. All of this is basically coming apart to replace 2 seals, but it's also good to just go over all of this. And we're also doing some fresh hardware. So the boys finished up the rear axle. We got it painted this morning. We pulled the third member out. The Yukon gears in there looked awesome. The spool and everything looked great. So third member's back in. We're waiting on a little bit more hardware. We're replacing some of the hardware that was on the bottom side of the third member that kind of just eats rocks and stuff. We got our new axle seals, inner axle seals replaced. Those are from Trail Gear. Outside of that, this thing looked great. We didn't have any cracks or anything on any of the link mounts, shock mounts, anything like that. So yeah, she's cleaned up. We're gonna pull the tape off here soon once it dries a little bit more, and then we're gonna be able to put this back in the truck. While this was out, we also serviced some of our links. The cool thing with these Summit machine links is you're actually able to just pull the joints apart, re-grease everything, put it back together, and if you had any slop in there, you can just tighten that nut down that gives you your tension on the uniball in there, and it just gets rid of all the slop. So you don't have to replace them as often as you would like a non-serviceable joint. You can actually just tighten it down and put it back in and get some more life out of them. So that's what we did. Links are ready to go, axle's ready to go. Now we got to put it all in, put our rear shocks in, put our rear hydro bumps in, springs, all that, ready to go. Another thing we got finished up was our rear bumper. So new wings are on. This is 2-inch DOM. The rest of the bumper is 175. So hopefully just going to 2-inch will help with a little bit more of the rigidity here. We also added a tube that goes down into this corner, which we didn't have before. And then our old outriggers were just more tubes, so pretty small going down. This is now 3/16 wall, 2x3 rectangle tube. It's the same tube we're using on our rock sliders. So that should add a lot more rigidity. And then our friend Wyatt down at Off Grid 4x4 came up over the weekend, and he helped us knock out some plastics for this corner. He's gonna come up and do the other side later just to help with some of the things that we don't need to do and don't really have time to do. He's helping us knock that stuff out. So this will help a lot with sliding. Overall, the fitment could definitely be more appealing, but it's very functional. We have this tube open on the side so we can still use this as a jack point with our A or B jack. And then it kind of overhangs past the frame rail. So hopefully as we come down off of big rock ledges, hit it into rocks, not only is this plastic gonna help absorb a little bit of that impact, it's gonna slide a lot nicer through the bumper as opposed to trying to get caught on these tubes. So lightweight, strong, and functional, we hope. Something fun that we are knocking out today too is finally getting rid of the last factory bushing on this 4Runner. This is the transmission mount. As you can see, it is looking worse for wear. It's got some cracking around the edge. So it's definitely time to replace this anyways. But we are going to polyurethane bushings. We are gonna be making our own mount that's gonna go to the cross member. It'll be a lot more stout, and it'll also just kind of bring up any of that slack that we had in our drivetrain before. So everything's basically gonna be solid mounted. Poly bushings don't move very much. So yeah, that's exciting. Hayden's knocking that out in CAD. We'll get that welded up and thrown in the car.
For you, I wanna stay sober. For you, I know you're feeling like I'm in my head all the time. 'Cause when you tell me about you, day to day, I don't hear none. I'm busy thinking about how I'm gonna keep us going on. While you're here in my grace, there's no trace
excited
of
about
what
this.
it used to be like. For you,
Yeah, okay. Thank you, SRQ Fabrications and Baja Designs.
for you, I wanna stay sober.
Will has been working on our skid plates. So all of our UHMW plastic has been cut. A few more things to jigsaw out, but all the hardware is getting countersunk, so it's flush. And then this has a steel piece that goes around our diff. So 1/4-inch aluminum, 1/2-inch UHMW, 1/4-inch steel. And then here's the transmission and transfer case skid. So we need more hardware, and then this can go in probably early next week. Last night we buttoned up the rear axle. We did a few more things on it this morning, put gear oil in, bled the brakes, but everything on the rear axle went together really nice. All the links went together well. All new hardware in there, so stoked to have this piece of the project done. Tires are on, lugs are torqued. Will is working on the plastic armor for the other side of the rear bumper. We just got to cap these, paint it, rear bumper's done. after that, which is awesome. Speak. Louder. Louder. Good girl. So here is our transmission and transfer case skid. Bolts to that structure we showed you guys earlier that's getting painted. All plasticed up, super smooth. So once that's finished getting painted, we can throw this rear skid in the car, and Hayden's working on the plastics for the front skid right now. But yeah, 3/8 hardware, Nylox, good stuff.
There is just nothing. If you close your eyes and you click 3 times, you're in, where you've been. All this time,
Skid plates.
Change your life. Keep on knocking.
So another thing that crept up on us this year that we didn't exactly plan to do but realized thankfully before we left, our harnesses and window nets actually expired this year. The harnesses literally expired in December. It's January right now. So we got some new harnesses. These are from Pyrotech. They were in stock, ready to go. We're gonna actually switch from this style, which is like the hook latch style, back to a cam style. We found that this hook latch was actually kind of unsafe for us. If you were strapping back into the car in full gear in your helmet, sometimes you would get false confidence that this was actually latched, and you could pull on it and it wouldn't really come out, but then you'd wiggle a little bit and then your harness would literally come apart while you were racing. So that was terrifying, and it made us have to really double, triple check when this harness was put together every time you buckle back in, and it was just costing us some time. So going back to the cam style, we're gonna be a little bit quicker, we're gonna feel safer, and we're gonna know a lot faster that our harness is hooked up without having to struggle so much. So that'll be really good. So we gotta get those in. And then our new window nets should be showing up soon from 503. Exact same ones that we had, just rebuilt, new webbing, new mesh. So those will be ready to go and we'll be nice and safe.
So we're super excited. We just got in our new Garmin race units. This is something that we've been dreaming of for a while now. Garmin put these out a few years ago, and they have totally taken over in racing. Really, it's because low rants leaves a lot to be desired, and we switched over to lead nav last year, but we still had the main low rants unit. We're actually going to be replacing that now with these Garmin units, and we're really excited about some of the new features they've put on here. It's going to change co-driving for me and our entire workflow for how we do our notes, our rally notes out on course. So let's get this thing in.
Light it up. All I'm looking for is a way to the other side. A way to the other side.
So we've got the new Garmin in the truck. We had to do a couple little changes in here. We took the plate that our low rants was mounted to, got rid of that, built a new one, riveted that in, and attached all the Garmin stuff. So we should be good to go and ready for race day.
The car is all wrapped up. This is probably the most ready the car's been before leaving for the lakebed, so that puts a really good feeling into all of us. Now we just have to deal with all of this stuff. We got to get it all packed up, loaded into 2 trailers and a few trucks, and tomorrow morning we are headed out. So thank you guys for watching the prep series, us getting the car ready here at the shop. From here on out, all the videos going forward are going to be us getting out to Hammers and all the fun that's going to ensue out on the lakebed. So if you enjoyed this, like, comment down below, let us know what you think, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you know anyone that would like this kind of content, be sure to share it with them, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you out on the lakebed.
A way to the other side.